the people and the connections that I have made in the past few years has just been, it's been so rewarding, and just I feel so much more fulfilled because I'm following the path that I want to follow.
Welcome to another episode of Tax Lien Code Success Chronicles. I just finished talking with Erin Menzer. She's been in the program for about 2 years, and her and her partner Jen have done some incredible things. They came from an incredible higher education background and decided to leave corporate America, leave the dream of so many people, and start investing. And their business is growing. They bought hundreds of tax liens. They bought some tax deeds. And it's enabled them to do so many other things, both in a personal life and in a professional life. So many goals they wanted to achieve and so many new ventures they wanted to start. I love talking with Erin, and you're gonna love her story. Well, Erin, thanks for joining today. There has been so much talk and chatter around you through the company for the last year and a half. Your story just, everybody always likes to talk about Erin and the incredible things that she's doing. So I appreciate you spending a little bit of time talking today so we can kind of share your story a little bit broader.
Yeah, so my partner and I relocated from upstate New York to Florida about 3 years ago. Both of our prior careers were in higher education, and we decided that we didn't want to live in that world anymore. So we, did some research, saw a lot of things through Tax Lien Code, and eventually attended a couple events, and we're like, okay, this seems like a really good fit for us. Not really sure what we wanted to dabble in first, but the idea of the tax liens really caught our interest initially, and kind of it's gone from there. So neither of us really had a real estate background. My background is in business, but not in the real estate realm. But I've always had an interest in it, and I'm really excited and really grateful to be able to be in this real estate world now, because it's been very rewarding. It's been very humbling, but it's been a great 2-year journey for us with Tax Lien Code.
Has it really been 2 years?
It has been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This whole journey for me is flying by. We in August we'll hit our 5 years of as
That's
a company in August, which is crazy because I feel like we just started growing and teaching. And I remember the very, very first days. And as we were growing, I mean, the ambition and the goal, Erin, was to find people like you and Jen. I mean, it was how many cool people can we find and help change some lives? So I'm curious though, what was it about tax liens that was interesting to you? Background and education and business, and here comes an ad for tax liens, or maybe a couple ads that you saw. What was it about tax liens that was like, you know what, maybe this is a thing for me?
I think it was a combination of things. For me, the research was really interesting to me. I'm a giant nerd at heart.
Okay.
And I think Jen enticed me with the fact that I could make spreadsheets and I could color code things and I could do the research online. And I'm like, okay, that seems really fun. And getting into real estate, which we both had some sort of an interest in. But I think overall being able to invest, we knew we wanted to invest some money into something, and it be more passive. And I think we liked the how it just appeared to us. We liked that we could put our money in something and have it sit there. And for us, being in Florida and learning a lot about Florida and the different counties and all of that, that's where we were really looking to learn more about and use our funds to really focus on the state of Florida.
You used a word that started almost my whole entrepreneurial journey that I think is one of the most misunderstood or overused words of passive. And this dream, I think every person has this dream of making passive income. And my first foray into it was when I was in college, and I joined they have so many different words or names, like a network marketing company or a multi-level marketing company, because this pitch and this idea is that it's passive. You're going to build this downline in this business, and it's going to make money while you sleep. And I bought in, and I did it for, I don't know, 2, 3, 4, I don't remember how long, too long. And I built this incredible organization and was actually comparatively for that industry, I was making $1,000 a week at the height, $1,500, which is pretty good for a college kid.
Yeah, I'd say I didn't have that money when I was in college.
But then when you stop working it goes away, right? The idea that you can go on vacation or move on to another stream of income and it's going to keep going was completely false in my experience with the business that I built. Like the moment I stepped away from it, the downline fell apart. But the idea was solid. It was great. And so then it was, in real estate, you're going to create it through rental properties. And for anybody that's ever owned a rental property, it is the most non-passive thing ever. Everything takes work. Everything's broken. Even with an incredible team, a great property manager, great project managers, accounts, everything. Like there is always something that has to be done. But I have found the complete opposite with tax lien investing. Like tax lien investing is the true personification of passive income.
For us, it was when we had first attended, is it Foundations or something? We went to something in Austin. I confuse the names quite often. But we were with RG and Deanna.
Yeah.
But we had gone to that event, and that really sparked it for us, having that connection with both of them and really being able to ask questions firsthand and get their opinions on different things and really looking into the different sites. And that was right before the Florida auction in 2023. So we left feeling super zesty and ready to invest and ready to everything was fresh, and it was a perfect time for us to go because we left. We were like, okay, we're going to do this. This is going to be great. I have a good idea of the different sites that Florida uses, and we're ready to go. So I think the timing of that certainly helped for us. It really jumpstart that, and just the RG in particular, we connected with, and he's been on our journey for the past 2 years and has been super great. So I think having that support initially and just the energy that was brought to it, really, we're like, okay, this is a really good fit for us. We feel good. No red flags. I've been to other things, not with TLC, but just in life, where I'm like, okay, there's some red flags here. Let's not go in that direction. But we felt really comfortable with this, and we knew that even heading into the auction, leaving the event, over the next couple of weeks, doing the research, putting bids and all those things, we felt we had the resources that we could tap into again with questions, or oh, okay, I think I heard this, but is this correct? So it was great to have that class, those connections, and then that support for us initially. And I think that was a big game changer for us.
Thank you. I'll definitely pass that along to RG and Diana. We have so many talented people that help train and teach, and I'm grateful for them every day. And so I love hearing people talk about them, because they do a phenomenal job, and I'm blessed because of them. It was funny to hear you talk about Jen, and she pushed you on this idea that you can build spreadsheets, and you said you're a nerd.
She knows what to say to me to be like, okay, that's great.
As every good partner does, right? What have you found are the essential skill sets that were important for you as you started the journey?
Patience is the biggest thing. And I mentioned it being a humbling experience too, just being able to take a step back and really soak in all the information, especially when it comes down to different counties, different states, what's going to be best for you and your situation, what amount of money is, again, everyone's looking to do something different. Everyone's situation is different with the amount of money that they're looking to invest. What's your strategy? So it's really being patient and taking a step back before you jump in 150% because you want to know what your strategy is and you want to be comfortable with the amount of money that you are putting into tax liens because it could redeem tomorrow. It could redeem in 2 years. So being comfortable with not having that amount of funds accessible in the short term because you don't know how it's going to play out.
Sure.
Just some level of organization because if you do jump into a good amount of liens, if you end up winning or even buying them afterwards, just being able to organize and keep things organized, being able to see when you can file for a TDA, being able to see organizing things via counties or dates or how much you spent or that sort of thing. So I have a spreadsheet. This is like my thing. And she said I can make a spreadsheet, so I do, and that's like my little baby now. And there's colors, and there's equations, and there's all those things. So it's like our little Bible that we go to see, okay, what are we sitting at now, 2 years after the first auction that we went into? What are we looking at? What can we TDA? So just having all that information to you in one spot, readily accessible, is I've found super, super, super helpful. And for people that don't have a business background or don't have that type of background where they know Excel or they know Google Sheets or numbers or whatever you want to use to keep yourself organized, there's so many great resources out there on the internet for free that you can tap into and use. But at the bottom line is have something that you can use to keep yourself organized because it's very helpful.
One of the things, the organization is so important and so key. I love your idea of this patience. I think everybody wants to be an overnight success, and not really. Or I think one of the tendencies people have, Erin, is they're going to see you and Jen, and they're like, "Oh my goodness, look how successful they are," and you're 2 years in. And over those 2 years, you've been patient. You've probably made some mistakes. You've had some big learning mistakes and obstacles. But tax liens do something that to me is so unique. And well, before that, how many tax liens have you bought now?
We're at 208.
208. And how many deeds? How many properties, whether they were tax deeds or traditional investing? How many deeds have you bought?
We did win a property on tax deed auction that's been flipped and that is currently on the market. We've invested in 206. We acquired 2 properties. One, it was technically on the MLS, but it was put on the MLS just for like a hot second so we could purchase it with our realtor.
Okay.
And then the other one we did buy on a tax deed auction. Out of the 206 liens that we did through auction, we have filed two TDAs. One went to auction and someone bought the property. It was so we got our money back plus the interest, so that was nice. And then the other one, I now have a very nice triangle property out in the middle of Pasco County.
That's cool.
Not sure, that's kind of taken a back burner at this point. It's out of the things I need to do in the next 4, 6, 8 weeks. It's not
the top.
So it's just gonna hang there for a bit. Then I'll go visit it, see what it looks like.
So the 206 that you bought, I mean that's a good number at the beginning of a journey. 206 tax liens. Mm-hmm. At what point did you feel comfortable? Like that first one you bought, I remember my first tax lien. It was terrifying. It was a tiny little investment, but it was so new and so challenging. I'm guessing yours was the same, right? That first one that you bought was like, is this going to work?
So those 2 that we had TDA'd were actually the 2. We each bought one when we went to Foundations in Austin. So we each bought one. Jen's redeemed. via the auction, and then mine didn't. So it's like this ongoing joke of, you know, sometimes we don't spot the best ones, but I was excited about my triangle, so I will keep it. So I think after that, we were like, okay, we understand the process. We know what this looks like. And at that point, they were older ones that we had purchased over the counter. So we were just going to let them sit for a little bit anyway, and then file the TDA. And we ended up doing the TDA on those like 8 months after we went to foundations. We're like, okay, it's time. Let's look into this. Let's do it. Hers went to auction. Her process took like maybe 3 months, and then my process, I think something happened with the county, to be completely honest, because it didn't go to auction for like 14 months.
Yeah.
And I had reached out a couple times, and then suddenly it was on the auction list.
There's that patience again.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I'll just keep waiting, because what else am I gonna do? I don't want to bother people at the county because I might need them in the future. So I'll just check in sporadically and see what's going on. But it was, all in all, pretty easy process. The thing that I learned, because there were different people on like the chain of the like prior ownership or whatever, because like they have to process serve all those peoples, there was a good amount of additional fees that I had to pay for in multiple counties, because those people were in multiple counties. So the one thing that my takeaway from that is that I wasn't expecting was be prepared that there might be additional fees depending on how many years you've had this lien or how many like prior tax years. There could be more based off of the time that you've had it.
Yeah, those are some of those learning things that come.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh, so to answer your question, I'm never comfortable, let's be honest. But I think after the first auction, like the first time, is Florida does the thing where each county will do it like over the span of a week. So the first couple auctions, I was like, oh, okay, this is really cool. Oh, I won some. This is cool. Let me put them in my spreadsheet. And then I think by the end of the week, I was like, okay, all right, I'm good with this. I understand the process. I know how Lien Hub operates. I know how Real Auction operates very, very differently. But at the end of the day, like I have all the information that I need, and really investing in the auction 2 years ago, in different counties and playing different things just to have that learning experience with different counties and all of that. And we also dabbled in Alabama for 5 or 6 liens because I wanted to see how GovEase operated, and that's cool because you get to watch it.
Yeah.
Each one individually rather than the batches. So I really liked that. But I think just overall, the whole first auction, seeing how different things play out, and that the whole week of that, really afterwards, I felt more confident. I'm like, oh, I could do this again.
So what does your day look like now? Is this full time for you now, you and Jen? Are you part time?
It mixes. It's really weird because I came from like a 9 to 5 ish. I traveled a lot for work previously, and so this is very different. I finally, 3 years out, feel like, okay, I don't work a 9 to 5 anymore. I don't know, is it a 24/7? Some days it feels like it. But no, so Jen and I are doing this together, and then we each have our own thing. I actually recently opened my own travel agency about a year and a half ago. It's something that I've always wanted to do, something that I've had a goal kind of on the back burner for quite some time. And so that's my other baby. Yeah. And Jen is very big into stocks. So she has that, and I have my thing, and then we do this together. So it's every day's a little bit different. Our schedule's a little bit different. We have 2 properties that we've also been working on that have been very different situations. So it's kind of just roll with the punches and take it as it comes.
What's that been like for you? Coming from a 9 to 5 where your day and your tasks are outlined, somebody else is telling you what to do every day, all day long. or you're working on specific projects for an employer, to being by yourself. I mean, you and Jen having your projects, having your own responsibilities without somebody saying, okay, Erin, you have to have this done by this time, or this is how you have to structure your days.
It's definitely different, for sure. And it was certainly a learning curve. I think I've always wanted to be like my own boss sort of thing. Not that I can't deal with authority. I'm not saying that by any means, but I like being able to figure out what works for me, what doesn't work for me, what works for us in our projects. And I think Jen and I work very well together. We make a fantastic team because if I'm having a bad day, usually she's having a good day.
Yeah.
So and vice versa. If she doesn't want to make a phone call, I'll make a phone call, and vice versa. So we're really good at playing off of each other and playing to our strengths and weaknesses and what works best for us. But it's different because things don't shut off at 5 o'clock. Things don't necessarily start at 9 o'clock. And it's some days I like that flexibility, and other days I'm like, okay, I would really like to shut off at 5 o'clock, but I have XYZ that I need to get done. So a lot of it is honing into my time management skills and figuring out, okay, what's top priority? What do I absolutely need to get done today? Who do I need to talk to? With the two houses that we've also been working on. What do we need to get done? Going from the big things to the final things, or inspections, everything. And then thinking about future, what's next for us, planning for the future. We've got lien auctions coming up in a couple of weeks, getting prepared for that and keeping the eyes on, this is what we're doing now, but keeping our eyes open to what's going to be next. Really just adjusting and keeping true to ourselves, and knowing that not everything is concrete. And if for us, we've done a couple flips, and after we're done with these, we've like, okay, what do we want to tap into next? Let's maybe take a break from flipping and see what other avenues we can pursue, because there's a lot that goes into that, and our time is precious, and our time, we want to spend it in areas that is going to be best for us long term.
I love you ending on that time is precious. And I think we all feel that at different times in our life, whether, as our businesses ebb or flow, our personal life kind of ebbs and flow, that idea that our time is more precious. What has that done for you and Jen in terms of having being able to invest in tax liens and tax deeds and starting your own businesses? What has that done for your allocation of time with each other?
We spend a lot of time together, but we're also we're pretty active outside of our businesses, and we like to we know when we need to take a step back from something, or maybe take a break, or go do something, go take a day trip somewhere. We live in the great state of Florida, so we can go do things. It's always sunny, except from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. in the afternoon these days. But we're very blessed in that we live where we do, so we can, go out and take a step back from things. But being able to spend time together, and I think that's done a lot for us. We know each other's buttons, and we know, we're just really good at playing to each other's strengths and weaknesses. And I think overall it's really solidified our relationship, because we know we've tackled so many challenges over the span of the last 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. Not just in real estate, but we really know at the bottom line how we each operate, and I think it's just done a lot for us.
That's such an incredible insight. That I think, in talking with a lot of new investors, when there are so many people in our world inside of Tax Lien Code that are coming in to invest in tax liens and invest in real estate, come from a corporate or a business or a job world where they're just doing the same thing. They show up to work and they're given a task or responsibility and say, here, this is your job. And they either feel unfulfilled or like they're not growing because they're just, it's robotic for a lot of people.
And I think I can absolutely attest to that. I think I get to a point where if I feel stagnant,
Mm-hmm.
I just I almost like shut down. I don't know if that's just me or if that's other people, but I always like to like have things moving or going, and I don't like to feel stagnant. So this has really kept things. Every day's a new adventure, so it keeps it fresh.
Yeah,
For sure.
and that's where the growth happens. And so you two having to tackle issues and problems and actually figure out how to solve problems and challenges together solidifies that relationship, not just from a business standpoint, but it gives you the belief that if we can solve this together, and that was pretty hard, then this is easier. Mm-hmm. This is simple. This is basic. And if we can do the really, really hard thing together because we've already done it, we've gotten into problems in investing or whatever and gotten ourselves out. So we have this belief that we can solve the challenges. And what that does on the personal side is just so incredible to me.
Yeah, it's very empowering, and it's nice, at this point in our lives to have that comfort,
Yeah.
And that solid foundation. Be like, okay, we've had our difficulties, we've had our number of punches that always seem to keep coming, but at the end of the day, it's nice to have that rock solid foundation.
Yeah, so I love the realism, Erin. You've talked about patience and punches coming. And I think we all experience that as an entrepreneur, is giving up the life of corporate America and traveling and working and doing all those things. Has it been worth it?
Depends on the day when you ask me. Yes, it really has, because the people and the connections that I have made in the past few years has just been, it's been so rewarding. And just, I feel so much more fulfilled because I'm following the path that I want to follow, and trying new things that I want to do and that we want to do. So yes, yes, a million times over, I'll joke and be like, yeah, some days are messy. But at the end of the day, yes. And I'm not that person to say, okay, everyone go out and quit their corporate job tomorrow. Definitely not what I'm saying. But I think for us, it's been so great to be able to forge our own path and try new things and be okay with failing or learning or pivoting. So yes, bottom line, yes, absolutely.
One of the challenges of running a company like Tax Lien Code is when we bring new people on and hire, there's this idea that failure is bad. And so many people are scared to test and try and grow and learn and do new things because inevitably there's a high degree or a high rate of what people would call failure, things that don't work. Testing new practices or new processes that the majority of the time it just doesn't work. We try new ad campaigns, or we try a new way to invest. We try new processes internally, and they just fall flat. They don't work. And so many people think that they're going to get fired, or they're going to lose a job, or get a demerit, or they didn't get enough gold stars. But in our world, that's part of the process, is testing and trying. And the majority of things that we test, like they're small iterations, they're small tests to see if they work. And the majority of the time, it doesn't go exactly what we want, but we get to keep testing and improving and getting better and better and better. And I think that for me, that came from the investment side, is like, hey, I'm going to test something really small, and tax liens allow me to do that, right? I can test something really, really small. I can buy an inexpensive tax lien or devote a certain amount of money to this pocket, see if it works like I want. If it doesn't, I can just, I'm still going to make money, maybe not as much or as fast as I want, but I can keep iterating and iterating. And so I love that ability to, and like the shift that I had, and it sounds like you're making right now, is that that failure is inevitable. It's limiting those failures to small things, or what people call failures. I don't even call failures. I think it's just part of the process. It's just an iteration. It's just that failure allows me to get to ultimately where I want to go.
For us, and having that background in education, I think it played a key role in allowing us to know, okay, we're learning. It's not necessarily a failure. Yeah, in some aspects, we're like, okay, we're never doing that again. But at the end of the day, it's learning, and we can take that as the stepping stone to the next thing. What worked, what didn't work. Let's reevaluate what part of our team, of contractors, people that came in to do work for us, what worked, what didn't work, who would we bring back, who do we not want to bring back. It's all about learning. And again, that it's humbling for sure. You're like, oh, I thought I had this great idea, and turns out it's not so great. But that's okay. And I think both of us, and Jen can certainly attest to that, you spend so much of your younger life trying to prove yourself to other people. And then you get to a point where you're like, what am I doing? Like, I'm not trying to prove myself anymore to people. I'm trying to prove myself to myself. And how can I be better than I was yesterday, be better than I was a year ago, and make the right moves to have a better future.
Man, I see that so many times. We're trying to impress the broke people around us, and make them think that we're successful and wealthy and rich and all the things, when in reality, I love the idea of just proving to myself. That's the driving force. Mm-hmm. What are you trying to prove to yourself, by the way?
That I can forge my own path, and that I can be happy with what I'm doing and be happy on the path that I'm on, and it develops strong relationships and impact other people along the way. Our future goals, we'd like to branch out more into the community and give back and do different things. So just being happy, ultimately being happy, and living a fruitful life of being able to do what we want and do the things that we enjoy, but also making an impact in the bigger picture.
How has Tax Liens allowed you to start doing that? Obviously not done, not accomplished that goal yet, but have you seen a sliver of that already?
Last year down in Florida, we had 2 major hurricanes that destroyed a lot of our local communities. And fortunately, where we are in Central Florida, we were okay. Yes, there was damage and stuff, but the coastal communities where we were actively flipping a house, those communities just still battling devastation. And it was a big eye-opener to see how those different communities all of a sudden just came together. And even though we're like flipping the house and we're not going to live there, we've learned so much about the neighborhood and the neighboring community. And we just instantly felt connected to the county itself. And because we were fortunate where we live, where we weren't so impacted by it, we were like, what can we do? Even though this isn't necessarily our community, what can we do to help in this situation? And it was just things like seeing signs or advertisements, donate time to the local food bank, or help with cleanup in these areas. And that was really important to us, just to feel like, okay, we're flipping this house, but what at the end of the day is going to make an impact on the community. So it's like being able to take part in those after such devastation to the community. That's what it's all about to us, really.
Yeah, earlier you talked about, and I feel this, and my wife and I talk about this all the time, is when you own a business, when you're an entrepreneur, it doesn't shut off ever.
Nope.
I've listened to podcasts and talks and all, those things about life balance. And I've come to the belief it just doesn't exist. If you're an entrepreneur, this idea of life-work balance, it just doesn't, it's not there. You're always going to It's going to be messy. It's going to be dirty. It's always not going to keep that plate of food separate. Like everything's a mess. But what it's allowed me to do is choose. If I'm blocking 8 hours of my day into sleep and 8 hours working for an employer, that only gives me 8 hours to do all of the other things. And being an entrepreneur allows me to choose 16 hours of my day. So hurricane efforts, those are relief efforts, whatever, so much of my business can wait till tomorrow. That if I don't show up, the problems will still be there tomorrow. The opportunities will still be there tomorrow. If there's something that's more pressing, helping with a hurricane, donating time to whatever endeavor, I can go do that today. It might be a mess 90% of the time, but I get to choose that mess.
Yeah, and I think for us that's you hit it right on the money, is being able to choose where our time is spent. Again, time is it's precious. You're never guaranteed a certain amount of time, and being able to utilize that in the best way possible and still do what you need to do and still take care of your responsibilities. But at the end of the day, we're all in this together.
Yeah.
Trying to make a better world for the future.
I love that ability that we have. I think that most people in our society would like to help. When a hurricane hits, it's been amazing. We have some people that work for us that are down in those coastal regions that we were able to help. And talking with them, so many people want to help. So many people want to show up. And unfortunately, so many people just can't. The desire is there, the ability is not. And so I feel blessed as you are to be able to allocate my time that way.
Yeah.
Okay, I know you and Jen have one of the coolest hobbies in the world. I hear all these stories about you guys going across the world to snorkel and to scuba, and these crazy places in the world. So one of the most enlightening and cool experiences of my life and my journey as an investor and entrepreneur has been able to invest all across the world. Doesn't matter where I am. I can invest and buy tax liens. I bought tax liens in some of the craziest places in the world. Have you had that experience yet? Have you been on a trip to the Seychelles and bought a tax lien on the plane?
Can't say that I've done that, but now I want to.
Yeah.
Not that I need more goals or more things I want to do, but I would love to hear more about that, because I think we're always looking to the future and what's going to be next for us. And if there's definitely some places that I would love to invest in, just having been there with different trips or whatever. So I would love to hear more
Well,
about that.
I guess maybe I communicated that wrong. What I mean is I was talking with Edgar. I don't know if you've met Edgar or not. You'll have to watch maybe one of the other Success Chronicles if you do know Edgar. And he was talking about wanting to be able to buy tax liens, like U.S. tax liens, on a trip to Europe. Being able to be in Europe and buy a tax lien while he's in Europe. And it was crazy because I just got back from Japan, and I was like, oh, I just did that. I was in Japan buying tax liens in the United States. And then he went to, I don't remember where he was, but he sent me a message. He's like, I'm at the pool, and I got like a picture of his feet right on the pool.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm at the pool closing on my first rental property from the pool. Yeah. And he's like, I told you I was going to do this, and here I am at the pool buying a property.
Yeah, no, I got you. Yeah, so actually during the auction, when Florida runs their like week-long different things, we're going to be in Mexico. So I'm setting things up now over the next week, but the auctions are going to run while we're there. So it's it'll be a 3-hour time difference, but we're prepared. We're going to hang out and do some auctions by the pool.
By the pool. Okay, well, tell you what. First round of drinks is on me, Erin.
Awesome.
So while you're sitting there in Mexico at poolside and bidding on auctions, first round of drinks is on me for you and Jen.
Awesome.
We've been planning and working for 2 weeks already for Florida, and starting to do all the bidding and everything right now, actually. So the next couple weeks is going to be a lot of fun.
There's so much out there. I'm like, okay, where are we putting our efforts in this year? Because it's There's just so much,
I know.
but that's great for investors. There's a lot to tap into.
Yep. So I got a whole map on my wall right now of all the counties that I'm going to be investing in, and circles and highlights and notes. So, all right, Erin. Well, enjoy your trip to Mexico. Can't wait to get a picture of you by the pool.
We can get a whole compilation of all the investors with all of our feet by the pool and get that going.
Yeah, well, it's cool. We're starting to frame them and put them up on the wall. And so our office is now starting to get littered with pictures of checks and students buying properties by the pool. So
Love it.
thanks for joining me today.
Thanks, Brian.